From a station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5. Streaming now.
Now first at 5, Christmas week, and the first day of winter is starting off a little damp, but not too cold. But just wait until a few days from now. We know it is a big travel week. WRTV Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory starts us off tracking what's ahead for you tonight. Kevin.
And Mark, of course, we started talking about the big temperature change or plunge that's on the way for Christmas. We started talking about that last week. We won't feel that until Thursday. Okay, late day sunshine, we'll take it. The rain has moved off to the east. Temperatures tonight with a gusty wind will stay around 30 degrees for the overnight low. Just want to show you a big picture over into Ohio. There are the rain showers. North and east of Indy, the clouds will linger a little longer, which may be a challenge to seeing something spectacular in the southwestern sky that we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Temperatures peak Wednesday and then quickly downhill. Thursday in the 20s. We'll have trouble reaching the lower 20s on Christmas Day itself. That wind Wednesday ahead of the Arctic front will howl. We'll have 40-mile-per-hour gusts out of the south. Wouldn't be surprised if we end up with a wind advisory there. That helps boost the temperature, push it into the 50s. The warmer it feels, though, Wednesday, the colder it will feel on the backside of this frontal system. We've still got to talk about our possibility of some light snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning and how quickly temperatures will recover after a very cold Christmas Day. That's all still straight ahead.
A lot to cover there, Kevin. We'll see you soon. Today, it was President-elect Joe Biden's turn to get his COVID-19 shot. And like the current vice president, he did it very publicly to help ensure confidence in the American people that the vaccine is safe. It comes as a second vaccine. The one from Moderna is now being distributed across the country. ABC's Rena Roy reports.
The very first vials of America's second coronavirus vaccine are here. Nearly 6 million doses of the Moderna vaccine making their way to more than 3,700 locations in all 50 states.
I'm hoping that we see that our patients are decreasing coming in with the COVID-19. Things will, as I said, get back to what we say is normal.
To date, there have been nearly 3 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine distributed and just over 500,000 doses administered. President-elect Joe Biden also rolling up his sleeve to get vaccinated.
You know, this is just the beginning.
We do still feel strongly that we will have allocated to the states by the end of the year 20 million doses of vaccine.
Promising news as hospitals feel the strain of a growing number of COVID-19 cases and patients. Los Angeles considered the pandemic's new epicenter here in the U.S.
And when you get up to the ICU, you feel like you're almost getting into like a war zone. It's just a constant, loud noise of just people running and doing what they can.
The country now averaging more than 2,600 deaths every day, according to the COVID Tracking Project. That's more than triple the 7-day average from 2 months ago. Cindy Lucas's husband, Rick, has been fighting for his life in a Tennessee hospital for more than 150 days after contracting the virus in July.
His doctor called me the next morning, and I guess this was when it became real to me. He said, he will be here for months because this is not the flu. It is not a cold. It is not anything like this. It will kill you.
And federal officials say they are confident that by June, anyone here in the U.S. who wants to get vaccinated will be able to. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A new strain of COVID-19 found in the UK has effectively canceled the holidays there after the country recently went into further lockdowns to try to limit the spread of the virus. Now other European countries are halting travel to and from the UK. It's all reactionary, at least the lockdown and closures are, according to one Butler University expert. Obanaya Omenka says that with the ease of global movement, it could very well be in other countries, just unreported. And Omenka says right now, little is known about this new strain, but reports claim it is some 70% more transmissible. With that information, he says, practicing good health measures is more important now than ever.
It's not a cue to panic or to make any knee-jerk reactions. It's actually just, it's a common biological feature of a virus.
Omenka says that it's a wait and see if this particular strain may be something we see here in the United States. But again, it should not be cause for panic. As for COVID vaccines, Omenka says the new strain should still be covered. Tonight, millions of Americans are watching our lawmakers on Capitol Hill. They are still expected to vote today on a $900 billion coronavirus relief package. That package would include another round of stimulus checks for many Americans, up to $600 per check. The Treasury Secretary said that those checks could show up in bank accounts as soon as next week if the bill passes. It also includes a $300 weekly boost in federal unemployment benefits through March and roughly $300 billion in aid to small businesses and billions more for vaccine distribution and schools. President Trump is expected to sign the bill if it passes. Now to today's numbers in the spread of coronavirus in Indiana, and the numbers are some of the lowest that we've seen in quite some time. But that could be due to a lag in reporting from the weekend. The state reports nearly 4,000 new positive cases. Those results recorded between November 20th and yesterday. 31 more Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Those deaths occurred between Friday and yesterday. The overall total since March is now about 7,100. Today is also the day we get weekly school numbers. The number of positive student cases is up by nearly 2,100. There are 394 new teacher cases and 496 more staff cases than last Monday's report. Again, this is not a clear picture. 307 schools have not reported to the state. The pandemic has put many Hoosiers in vulnerable positions. Many have lost jobs and some have even lost their homes. 87 people who were homeless have passed away this year in Marion County. That is nearly double the amount of people lost last year. The Coalition for Homelessness and Intervention and Prevention, also known as CHIP, lit a candle today to mourn the 87 known people lost and an additional candle for those unknown.
In fact, this has been such a tough year for so many, and it hits those experiencing homelessness just that much harder. You're already talking about individuals and families that are in the midst of extreme vulnerability and crisis, and you add an additional crisis on top of that. I think that's the impact that we're seeing this year, and it's heartbreaking.
The nationwide eviction moratorium was recently extended through the end of January, preventing people from being evicted. As new legislation comes out around recovery efforts, it's important that people are educated about their rights and the resources available to prevent homelessness. CHIP is also asking that people continue making donations to winter relief efforts in Indianapolis by working directly with shelter and housing partners. Items in need include blankets, coats, hats, gloves, warm wool socks, hand warmers, and single-serving non-perishable food and drink items. Donations can also be made directly to Street Reach Indy at chipindy.org. Food insecurity is also a real problem for the homeless and many Hoosier families as well. That's always especially true around the holiday season. And because of COVID-19, it's a bigger problem this year than it has been in generations. As WRTV's Rafael Sanchez reports, while food banks have been overwhelmed during this pandemic, the Good Cheer Fund of Johnson County helped take some of the load off and responded in a big way to provide baskets of food, feeding hundreds of people.
Vehicles rolled out
all the way back. They'll tell you when to stop.
And pulled in like clockwork. French Cardille has not missed this day in 57 years.
The virus has made a big difference. A lot of people in need right now.
Food baskets to stretch tight budgets and fill empty cupboards, as you can see, packed with enough food to last beyond this Christmas weekend. This is the annual Good Cheer Fund.
We had cereal, we had some pancake mix, so those are things that we hadn't done in the past.
This is Rhonda Kendall's first time volunteering at this event.
So many people have gotten so afraid of the COVID virus that they're afraid to get out and help others or themselves. So this is great.
Rhonda felt the call to duty, just like she did when she served in the Air Force, caring for soldiers during the first Gulf War, known as Operation Desert Storm, which began in 1990.
Doesn't matter how you come back, you can still work.
There were some pandemic-related challenges, which impacted the collection of canned foods and limited the number of volunteers.
Oh, no, we would never cancel it. Yeah, it's too important to the community.
Unlike previous years, the baskets were left at the door. Delivery was contactless. In the end, 800 baskets produced during a pandemic by people driven on a tradition marking its 100th year of service.
Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
Well, the baskets went to people in Greenwood, Edinburgh, Nineveh, Trafalgar, and Morgantown. The organizers will rest for a couple of weeks and, of course, then start planning for the year 2021. Just into WRTV, Metro Police are sharing images of a person of interest and the vehicle that man was driving that could be connected to a deadly hit-and-run collision late Saturday night. It happened on the west side shortly after 11:30 Saturday night. Police say a driver hit and killed a man who was walking along West Washington Street at Biltmore Avenue. The man later died at the hospital. Officers say the car may have significant damage to the front end. If you believe you have seen this car or the driver, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. The Zionsville Police Department welcomes a new member to the force, a K-9 officer named Mika. Mika is a 1-year-old Belgian Malinois mixed with German Shepherd from Hungary. Mika trained in Denver, Indiana, and will be used for detecting drugs, tracking, and protecting officers. Her handler is Officer Josh Stutzman, a previously worked with another K-9 that died from cancer last summer. Mika and Officer Stutzman will soon begin working on patrol. The department has one other K-9 officer as well. Now, just ahead on WRTV, still holding out hope that you or Santa will be able to put that hard-to-find gaming system your child has been wanting under the tree this week. We have some tips on how you might be able to deliver. Talk about a rare sight only twice in 800 years, and tonight is one of those nights to look. But will we be able to see what some are calling the Christmas star? Kevin?
We'll talk about that. We'll definitely see milder temperatures temporarily. Look at this, almost 60 in St. Louis. When we'll jump into the 50s, and then what happens?
This year's Tickle Me Elmo, Cabbage Patch Doll, and Furby is a new gaming system. Sony's PS5 and Microsoft's Xbox S are the holiday gift that's impossible to find in 2020. But consumer reporter John Matarese has some secrets to track one down so you don't waste your money.
So here we are at Christmas and you still haven't found the new Xbox or PlayStation? Well, it may be too late to put one under the tree, but you could find one in the next couple of weeks if you know how to track them. Jairus Williams thought he had found a PS5.
So we're happy, excited, and then the next morning they canceled on us.
Kohl's canceled his order. Stephanie Meebers found one at Walmart.com, but when she tried to check out,
tried to hit add to cart. Well, then you get the oh dear message, you know, that little dog with the antlers. We're having temporary internet issues, and all of a sudden it said out of stock.
But the good news is you can now track availability of the PS5 and Xbox Series S. You may want to start by following 2 Twitter accounts, PS5 Stock Alerts and GYX Deals. Also, follow the website stockinformer.com. USA Today suggests you then bookmark the Xbox and PS5 pages at Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon, and Target, and check several times every day. But from the Doesn't That Stink file, the insane prices eBay sellers continue to command. Prices start around $700 on eBay, but most sell for over $1,000, with buy it now prices at $1,500 or more, and that stinks. Finally, don't expect stores to be flooded with PlayStations and Xboxes come January. Supplies are expected to remain tight until March, so don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese, WRTV.
Well, tonight another event is scheduled to take place that will continue to make 2020 a truly unique and incredible year. For only the second time in the last 800 years, 2 planets are going to align in the night sky. You'll want to look up tonight. Jupiter and Saturn will look nearer to one another than they have since the Middle Ages. It's called a conjunction, and this is one exceptionally rare one because of their close proximity. The result will look like a double planet, and given the timing, some people are calling it the Christmas star. That's because Christians believe a star guided the wise men to the newborn Jesus. The conjunction will be the closest tonight, about an hour after sunset. It will be visible to a lesser extent each night until Christmas in the low western sky. And so, Kevin, a lot of people, in fact, I've had a couple of viewers reach out to me to ask if they'll be able to see if we'll have cloud cover here.
I am optimistic we'll be able to see this, especially if you're west and southwest of Indianapolis now. You notice that we've had the breaks in the sunshine, and if you're north and east, I think it'll be a little more challenging. A friend of mine, Mike Reynolds, just sent me this picture. He's got his telescope all set up, ready to get a nice view. And of course, over the last couple of weeks, you've noticed the pair, Jupiter and Saturn, together in the southwestern sky. They're there again tonight, and I think try between 6 and 7. That's probably prime time there to check that out. They'll set or drop below the horizon about 7:45. All eyes on the thermometer now and look toward the southwest. Sullivan's at 53, Terre Haute to Bloomington to Bedford, 50 degrees. Then you go north and east. Under the cloud cover, it's cooler, 43 in Peru, 46 in Muncie and Marion. The wind is still strong. We had gusts today, 30 to 40 miles per hour. They'll still gust around 20 through midnight. Then we'll see those calm down just a little bit. Steady temperatures, a slow drop into the low 40s. We're destined for 30 degrees tomorrow morning. And with those partly cloudy skies, that's why you have a fighting chance to see Jupiter and Saturn in the western, southwestern sky. I put this in motion. There are the clouds, as I was mentioning, north and east of Indy through the overnight and then first thing in the morning. Temperatures tomorrow morning right at 30 degrees. We'll make our move from there. Should go well into the low to mid 40s, much of central Indiana. The wind will switch and start coming out of the southwest later in the day. That sets the stage for these temperatures to jump another 10 degrees by the time we get to Wednesday. There's your strong wind Wednesday ahead of the developing storm system, wind gusts of 40 miles per hour. Then it coming out of the west as we go Wednesday night into Thursday morning, which means as rain develops Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening, it may switch over to some snow before coming to an end. Wave goodbye to the 50s Wednesday and say hello to the 20s. Here comes the showers in the mild air Wednesday. Then you see the pink and the blues start to pop up. That's a little burst of snow. The race is on. Will the cold air catch the back edge of the moisture? And I think it will, producing some light snow, especially over the eastern half of the state as we go through the overnight. Thursday, flurries, much colder. Let's pop the hood on your Christmas forecast. 11 degrees Christmas morning. Some wind chills around 3 below zero. The high temperature 22 during the afternoon on Christmas with some sunshine. But notice how fleeting that is, Mark. Temperatures are very cold Christmas, but then start to recover. And everything is relative. We get back to 38 and you'll be saying, okay, it's time to take the jacket off. It's getting hot.
It's balmy. All right. Thanks for that, Kevin. Popping the lid on the Christmas forecast. Thank you. The pandemic is pushing back Fiat Chrysler's plans to reopen a closed Kokomo factory until late 2021. Company executives announced in March a $400 million plan to convert its former Kokomo transmission factory so that it could begin production of a new engine within the first 3 months of 2021. Well, that reopening has been delayed until 2021's last quarter, in part because of the company's 8-week shutdown earlier this year. The automaker plans to make the factory the U.S. production site for an engine for Jeep Wranglers and Cherokees, which is now built in Italy. The project will help retain about 1,000 new jobs and add nearly 200. That would bring the total Fiat Chrysler workforce at its Kokomo area factories to more than 8,000. A reminder, the Indianapolis Public Library has new changes in place as of today due to the increase in coronavirus cases. The library is now only offering curbside pickup of reading materials, audiobooks, and DVDs. There will be limited walk-in use of computers, printers, and scanners, and it will be on a first-come, first-served basis with 1-hour time limits. This should be in effect through at least mid-January. Hoosiers are known for our generosity. Coming up here, how your record-breaking donations to the toy drive will make it a much brighter Christmas for families all across central Indiana. Thanks to you, our 20th annual WRTV Toy Drive was one of the most successful ever. And today, families are seeing your generosity firsthand. One of our partner agencies is Grace Church Care Center that helps families in Hamilton, Northern Marion counties. Today, families arrived at the center to select the toys that are right for their family, helping to make it a very Merry Christmas for their children.
a lot of work. It's a lot of logistics. It takes lots of volunteers. But we do it because in the Care Center, we believe in providing hope. And so it's a lot more than just giving out groceries or giving out toys. We believe in loving families well, caring for families well, and especially the Christmas season, we really want to just love families, care for them, provide for them, but even more than that, again, we want to help provide hope.
Well, families have been pre-selected. We also partnered this year with organizations in Marion, Hendricks, Morgan, and Henry counties, and we just want to thank all of you again for your generosity. We really appreciate it. Bouncing back and pushing through, still ahead at 6 p.m. here on WRTV, how a new program is helping people succeed when they need it most. And working through the pandemic together, we're going to show you how a community came together to help those in need when coronavirus tried to slow them down.